Psyche Truth. Life, wisdom.
Hi, I'm Catherine. Thank you for watching my glute and thighs workout. I'm always curious to hear what people's visions are of like what the perfect butt is. Are you more of like a J-Lo butt person, or would you rather have like a Heidi Klum butt? I've always found it very interesting that there's so many different ideals of what the perfect butt looks like. So I'd love to hear your feedback on that. That being said, today's workout's going to be a little more intense than my previous butt-thigh workouts. It's a little more fast-paced, so let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with our kneeling series. So we're going to take our elbows to the floor. We can clasp our hands here. Just put your elbows right under your shoulders. You're going to take your knees about hip-width distance apart. We're going to start with the right leg up, but first we're going to have our left leg in a 90-degree angle. Make sure you're not sinking into that hip. Really push the floor away with that knee. So we're going to start with a straight right leg, and we're just going to start lifting it up and lower. You might only get a few inches off the floor at first. That's okay. This extended leg will work the center of your hamstring more so than the glutes. And in a moment here, we're going to take it to a bent leg heel stamp. And you're going to feel that much closer to the underside of your butt. Right where the spot where most people feel like they could use a little bit of an extra lift. So it's important here to keep pushing that floor away with your left leg. And also to keep stretching through that right hip. So you want your hip to stay low. You want to be sure that you're still staying in parallel, that your foot isn't flaring out like that. Your hips stay parallel to the ground. And here we go. We're going to take it to that 90-degree heel stamp. So we're just pushing very deliberately, but it's a small motion. We're just pressing through our heel. You can see I'm not kicking very high at all, but I'm definitely feeling it in that spot right under my right cheek, as it were. So keep stamping. Check in with your abdomen. Make sure you're pulling that belly button up towards your spine. And you might find that your left leg is getting a little bit of a workout too, just from stabilizing your body. So a couple more stamps here. Then we're going to rotate our leg out, and we're just going to lift it from deep inside that hip, almost where the femur bone is installed in the socket. If you can imagine, just as deep as possible there. Again, very small motion. We're working on those rotator muscles. So if you're a dancer working on your turnout, this is a great exercise for that. And check back in to make sure you're not veering off to the side on your left leg, still staying strong on that supporting base leg. All right, a couple more here. Then we're going to stamp that heel across, maintaining our turnout. So instead of thinking of kicking, I actually think of it more of like a squeeze. And I'm also thinking that my left leg is also squeezing in. If I don't squeeze in with my left leg, then I twist. But if I counter the force of that right leg squeeze, I can be a little more stable. Now, I don't know about you, but my glutes and my turnout muscles are pretty on fire right now. So we'll do just a few more of these. And we can switch legs. If you want, you can drop into a stretch here. Give those glutes a rest, give those hamstrings a rest. And now we can go to that other side. So from this angle, you'll be able to see a little more of the turnout that I'm talking about in those turned out exercises. But first we're going to start with that parallel leg lift. So top of the foot stays towards the ground, 90-degree angle in that right leg, again pushing away from the floor making sure you're not sinking any which way. Here we go. Left leg up. Now, like I said, it's very possible that you'll only get a few inches off the ground at first. It's okay, it's a specialized exercise, it takes time to get used to. What's most important is that you don't open your hip like that, that your hips stay pretty parallel to the ground to allow your hamstrings to work. Pointing that toe also just helps lengthen those muscles while you're using them. So your nice sculpted legs, sculpted butt. Just keep breathing here. All right, and we're going to bring it to that 90-degree heel stamp. So just pushing up the flexed foot. Yep, it doesn't look like much, but actually the smaller you work, the harder it is. You're just feeling that muscle right below your butt. Exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. Again, checking in with your abdominal muscles to make sure you're stabilizing there, pulling the belly button up towards the spine. All right, and now we're going to take it to that turned out lift. So the heel comes in, and we're just lifting from deep inside that hip. Again, if you're a dancer, this is really great for getting that turnout. These are muscles that most people don't really get to use on a daily basis, but it can really be the key to getting the look of this, you know, that dream butt that you want. Okay, and we're going to take it to those heel stamps across. So we squeeze, maintaining that turned out leg, and we're squeezing the right leg to counter the squeeze in our left. Yeah, those muscles are small, but when they get tired, they get very cranky, and they make their presence known. All right, a few more here. And last one, stamp it and squeeze. And go ahead and stretch it back. Okay, now that we've done that series, we're going to grab some kind of base of support. In this case, I'm going to use a towel. We're going to be accessing those same deep muscles of the hip, but we're going to be doing it in a little bit of a different way. So we're going to find our support, and we're going to position ourselves so that it's right under our hip bones. The idea is that we want a little bit of freedom of movement in our legs, so we don't want them crashing into the floor. So we're just lifting up the hips a little bit. And what we're going to do, I'm going to show you a few options in case you want to challenge yourself a little bit more. The most basic option is to simply lift and lower in that turned out leg position. So in other exercises, our feet are sort of facing the floor and we're lifting from the back of our legs. In this case, we're trying to turn out from the hip sockets and lift from really what's the outer side of the thigh. So we can lift and lower, trying to keep straight legs. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep breathing. And you can continue to do this as I explain the other exercise. This is a little more challenging of an option, but if you're ready, you can scissor those feet, leading your heels in. I like to keep my toes pointed. It might be easier to access those muscles at first if you use flex feet, if you want to go a little bit slower. But I just think of keeping my heels in, putting my feet together using my inner thigh, and just stretching my legs so that they stay straight. So you might still be here, lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering, but those are your two options. Go ahead and choose. You can lift and lower, or you can bring in and out, in and out. So I'm gonna rest here, and now I'll show you a third option that's the most challenging of all. It's just picking up the tempo a little bit on those crisscrosses. Sometimes I like to put on, some fast music. Let me really feel the beat here. But let me show you how that goes. It's gonna go beat, 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 beat. Slow, slow, fast, fast, fast. So really, you're switching feet every time you cross. And you can go as fast as you want with these. Let's go ahead and take a rest from those. You can repeat that as many times as you need to feel those inner thighs, to feel your glute muscles working, to feel those turnout muscles. That's one of my favorite exercises for improving my turnout in ballet, as well as just an overall sculpting core workout, butt workout. It's really great. So moving away from that exercise for now, we're going to do something else that really does work those turnout muscles, especially if you're a dancer, if you're working on pirouettes or something like that, where you need that turnout in your supporting leg while your other leg is up in the air. This is really going to work that standing leg. But I think this is really beneficial for everybody. You're definitely going to feel it. You're going to be accessing muscles you never really use. So here we go. Go ahead and lie down with your support. Now you're going to take the top foot, the top leg, you're going to press it. You're just going to put it right on top of that towel. So ideally, it should still be 90 degrees in front of you, but just still in line with your hip. So as though if I were standing up, my leg would be where it is if I were to take a step. It's right in front of my hip, tracking forward. And I want to back it up so it's a nice, true 90-degree angle. And same with this back leg. Your back leg is probably going to want to creep forward during this exercise, so you have to fight to keep it to that true 90. Now you can rest your head on your elbow. What we're doing is moving the back leg. So all we're doing is rotating up from the hip. Now if you can only get an inch off the floor, 2 inches, it'll come with time and practice. So what you have to do, we're rotating out, leading almost with our heel, trying to lift that heel off the floor. So check in with yourself, make sure you're in that true 90 degree. You just lift and lower. Lift and lower. This is a deceivingly challenging exercise because it's really, you can't really cheat with it. It forces you to use those deep hip muscles. Lift and lower. And if you want, you can hold it here and just squeeze and see how long you can maintain that turned out leg. And after you've held it, squeeze even harder. Always pull that left hip back. Make sure you're not rolling forward. Counter that right leg by pulling that left hip back. And we can release there. Let's try the other side. And you can always repeat this as many times as you need to get a deeper burn, if that's something you need. Okay, so we're resetting our towel or our stack of books or our sweatshirt. so that our right leg tracks parallel to the ground, resting our head on our elbow. We find our true 90-degree angle here, and we can just rotate up. You can put your hand on your hip and just down to your side, whatever's most comfortable. And always think of keeping that left knee pretty far back behind you. It's going to want to creep forward. Just lead with that heel, and again counter with that right hip back. It's going to be more challenging. And again, it's okay if one side is better than the other, if it's going higher than the other. Or if you're getting not too far off the ground at all, that's okay too. Just really focus your energy in that deep hip socket area. Those small muscles that are encasing your the bone of your thigh. And we can hold it here. Squeeze that heel up towards the sky. Keep that 90-degree angle. Pull that right hip back. And challenge yourself. Push a little farther. And release. All right. So now we can put our towels aside. All right, before we stretch, this is one last challenge for your thighs and your glutes. Again, you can repeat this as many times as you need to get a really good burn, but I think it doesn't take much for this one. So let's go back to our elbows. Hands clasped. We go onto our toes. Our knees are hovering above the floor. We go back to that turned out position, and now we're going to take small rotations, leading with the heel. Our heel is flexed. And again, you're keeping this really small, so you're almost combining that lifting motion with the stamp and squeeze motion. And when you come in, you're almost crossing the midline of the body. And let's reverse that. And yes, your supporting leg might be getting a workout too. Just work small and work slow for 4 more. And last one. Bring it down. Quick stretch. And we clasp, elbows under our shoulder. Go back to our toes. And we do our left side. So turn that leg out. Squeeze in and lift. Squeeze in. Leading with the heel. Countering that squeeze in our left leg with our right leg. We'll do 3 more here, the reverse direction. This is 2. Last one. And reverse. This is the final stretch. Work with integrity. Give it a good squeeze here. And we've got 4 more. For 3, 2, 1, and you made it. So now we can reward ourselves with a nice stretch. Let's just take a nice butterfly here. So feet together. Chest is tall and proud. Elbows push the knees down. Take a deep breath in. And push and lead with the chest. So we're really just trying to stretch out those muscles in our hips and our glutes that we just worked so hard. Okay, and now this is one of my favorite stretches for the glutes. You can rest your leg. You could rest it however is comfortable. I usually just put it in front of me, resting like so. Take your left heel in your right hand. Now I do this in turnout, but you can do it in parallel as well. We're just going to push our hands away and release. push and release. Last one, we're gonna hold it, and I just wanna carry it across my body a little bit. And that will stretch the IT band here, the sides of my thighs that I worked, and bring it back down. Same thing on the other side. We grab the heel, we stamp, release, go a little further. Last time we hold, and I carry the foot across my body, keeping my hip on the floor. I can turn in, stretch my AT band. Okay. And that concludes today's workout. There are lots of other videos on this channel, some of mine for leg flexibility if you're feeling a little sore now. But in the meantime, please subscribe to the channel and let me know if you have any questions or if you have any comments. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.